Sorry, anyways. So if you guys have seen my last vlog, last week was my birthday, or actually 2 weeks ago now was my birthday. And I have a birthday book haul. So without further ado, here's a quick little book haul. I got the Wordsworth Classics Emma by Jane Austen. It's illustrated and it's illustrated. That's still pretty cute. Okay, so yeah, so the first book is Emma, and then the rest are in this box. The first book in this box is You've Lost a Lot of Blood by Eric LaRocca, and I honestly don't know what it's about anymore because when I was flipping through it, it seems weird. I think it's a bunch of short stories. I don't know. I'm gonna have to research again what it's about because I don't think it's self-published either. Anyways, I just honestly, it was a cover buy because I think that looked scary and cool at the same time. And I've heard of Eric LaRocca, so I think this is gonna be a good read. Who knows? I don't. The next book is Sirens and Muses by Antonia Angres. I honestly can't remember why I bought most of these books, but they've been on my list for a while, so I just went ahead and bought Sirens and the Muses by Antonia Angres. The next book that I have is Night Bitch by Rachel Yoder. The next book that I got is The Thing Between Us by Gus Moreno. And this is a horror novel about grief and rage, which really reminded me of Mother Thing. So I think this is gonna be really good as well. And this next novel is a modern version of Euripides' Medea. And this one, while it is a cover buy, it was actually recommended by a YouTuber who I just recently found, and she was talking about it, I think, in one of her monthly wraps. Medea is actually one of my favorite classic tragedies, and also, I mean, just this one I am really excited about. This one might be pushed up to the top of my list, especially because it's so short and it's actually written like a play. So that's pretty cute. That's pretty cool. And the last book is The Sailor Who Fell from Grace with the Sea. And it's about a 13-year-old boy who becomes upset that a sailor who he admires very much decides to stop being a sailor in order to become a husband and marry his mom. These are all the books that I bought for my birthday. Happy birthday to me. And I'll most likely consider doing a book buying band in my foreseeable future, but not yet.
It's just one of those days.
I always forget how difficult it is to talk about mental health with my parents, just because, you know, unfortunately, my dad is very Mexican conservative. And while he is open to a lot of the stuff that I say and mention, he very much has the positivity mindset of, oh, you could always fix it, you could take care of this, blah blah blah. And like, I get it, I understand what he means and his sentiment and everything like that, but unfortunately, you know, I can't just make ADHD disappear. I can't just learn to turn it off. I could learn to work with it, but you know, this isn't something that that can go away. And I hate the idea of leaving a conversation with a very passive fight going on, but at the same time, it's just he's stubborn and I'm stubborn, right? And as much as he's like, oh, I listen, I understand, I get it, it's very much like, yeah, I get it, but you're still wrong. I don't know. I'm just not really in a good space right now because Mother Nature decided to bless me today. And that is also definitely when, unfortunately, my mental health gets even worse because that's just how it is. Just girly things, you know? But yeah, so today's Sunday. I might clean up a little bit. I'm definitely not gonna do any homework. I might redo my nails because some fingers are a little chipped. I've been really rocking this color, so I hope I don't get too tired of this and just watch YouTube. Sunday is a nice chill day for me. Yeah. The baby girl is here. Say hi, Ray. No? Okay. Happy Monday. Today is Monday. And I just had a very cathartic, I think that's the right word I can use for this feeling. I just had a very cathartic therapy session, and it's just been a very stressful, frustrating past couple of weeks that I was just able to let it all out. Luckily, there was no crying. I mean, there's nothing wrong in crying in front of a camera. It's just that I just didn't feel like crying. I already cried last week, so one of the biggest takeaways that I got of this therapy session is that I put up a front of accepting my ADHD, but in reality, I still have many issues when it comes to acceptance. And a lot of it has to do with just being in an environment that doesn't really support it. Luckily my friends and my sisters understand where I'm going through and everything like that, especially the friends that also are dealing with ADHD. It's just most of my life happens here at home, and so the only people who are witnessing my mental breakdowns and stuff like that in person are my parents, and they just still don't get it. And the way that my therapist put it is that going back and forth between my psychiatrist and nurse practitioners. Oh, because if you're new here, a lot of my journey with ADHD has been, for some reason, up and down in the sense that I keep changing prescriber because they either get fired or they just suck and invalidate me, or they're a nurse practitioner when I've specifically asked for a psychiatrist. And there's nothing wrong with nurse practitioners. I just feel more comfortable with an actual psychiatrist. So it's like those roadblocks throughout the years have just made it so hard to be in an area of acceptance. And I am just now realizing that. On top of that, I also came to the realization that I am so mentally, emotionally, and physically exhausted / jealous that I can't get my ADHD medication, and I'm jealous of people who do have it. Because of this back and forth, I haven't been consistently on it for such a long time that I don't think I've ever gotten the full effects of what the medication could do for me. And I've gotten glimpses of it, but it's never been fully solidified, and I just want to be able to function once in a while, Yeah, that's basically what I'm struggling through. I think I'm gonna have to reach out to my thesis director and mention. I was gonna say that I wanted to talk to my thesis director if we could push back the date of my next thesis meeting, but our next meeting is a couple days before an official due date towards turning in your entire thesis. So I can't do that because I do need to see her before that specific due date. So I just have to survive until then. Wow. Did not hit record on me unboxing, but hello, hi. This is the next book that we're reading for my African American Studies class, authors class. This is Our Nig by Harriet E. Wilson, and I don't know what this is about. The novel traces the trials and tribulations of Fredo, a mulatto girl who grows up as an indentured servant to a white New Hampshire family. So this is for next week. Tomorrow we should be discussing Uncle Tom's Cabin, and if you didn't see my last vlog, I said that I was going to dedicate my time into reading that book. Well, I DNF'd it. I don't have to read it. I could fake my way in the discussion, and my critical review essay that's due on Thursday this week, I'm going to write about our heroic slave. So don't be like me. Do your readings, but in my case of mental health, and if you have a similar case, find a solution, work a way around it. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I just needed to put it down. I don't have time to finish it, and so I'm skipping it. And luckily, yeah, this is technically a big book to read in under a week, or for me, but the actual story, not only the font, not only is it written like this, but it's only 131 pages. So yeah, this is way more doable to read. So there's that. So today's Wednesday, and I actually, surprisingly, got the energy to do some of my errands that I've been desperately needing to do for like the beginning of the year. I've been going through just a really tough time with the big sad, and with that, I mean, I know I've mentioned my struggles in reading for class and stuff like that, but it's also very much affected my own personal tasks and to-dos, especially with school. So luckily I got the push to actually do something today, which is great, especially because I did my emissions today and my car failed. It's had a service light on for the longest time, and my dad had been meaning to help me out with that, but he hasn't, and now I failed, and now I have to handle that. But that's gonna be another day, another situation type thing, because I am back home and now I'm going to work on my second draft of my statement of purpose, because my PhD application is due next week. So I need to work on that ASAP, and then afterwards finally get started on my thesis again, because that's one of my biggest things that I've been having trouble with this current episode of my executive dysfunctioning because of the big sad. I don't know. So I'm going to get started. I'll see you in the next clip.
Make too much money. Electronics fume is completely natural. Instead of vapor, fume uses tryfum.com and use code MIS is dangerous. I think the first nun also started with an opening scene of a holy authority dying, right? This movie's dark almost die. The nuns defeated, day is saved. But we're shown Frenchie was actually possessed by the end of it. Then there's a conjuring group of a lot of nuns. And she mentions that Father Burke, some people are saying she went crazy and she got locked up in the Vatican. Bad sister. And there's not even a mention of Frenchie.
I took a nap in school yesterday and this little dingus won't stay down. I've been trying to work all day on my assignment that is very much due tomorrow, and I am just having a really hard time again with my executive functioning skills, specifically task initiation, and it's just really hard because I could feel the deadline coming close anyways, like I've been probably mentioning throughout most of these clips for this specific vlog, I've just been really having a hard time initiating my tasks, and I don't know how to cope and get out of this little situation that I have, especially because I have an assignment due tomorrow. So I don't know if I've mentioned it recently or anything like that, because my working memory has also been a mess. My friends and I decided to have a work date on Thursdays because she works from home. And I'm really hoping that this body doubling session really helps me right now, because I am getting just a little nervous, especially because I don't have any medication to help me through this at the moment because of a lot of ADHD medication being on back order with a lot of pharmacies. I reached out to my psychiatrist and to see if she can prescribe me a different ADHD medication and see if that one isn't in back order. Unfortunately, that appointment isn't until Friday, so I might ask for a small extension, even though I've never had this professor, so I don't know how she's going to act with this. I'll have to, I guess, double check her syllabus, but I don't know. And one of the reasons why I think I'm either talking really slow or this is gonna be cut up a lot more is because I'm having a lot of trouble even communicating, because that's how bad my executive dysfunction has been. Communication is really hard for people with ADHD because it's considered, well, my therapist told me that there's just a lot of tasks that include working memory and other things to just even say a full sentence. And I never realized that on the days that I'm kinda more nonverbal, it's because it is a lot harder for me to just even say anything. I mean, apart from me not even knowing what to say in front of the camera because I'm still like embarrassed that I'm like this. I really want to at least document for myself how much of a struggle ADHD can be, not only for adults but also for graduate students. Like it's 6 p.m. and I've been trying to work on this since 12, I think, with a 2-hour nap somewhere thrown in there. And all I've managed to do is write one sentence and re-annotate some of the book just so I could really see what I want to talk about. There's a lot more things highlighted, but whatever's been underlined in black pen at the moment is what I'm really going to use for this response. And the worst thing about what I'm going through right now is that this is supposed to be at least 2 to 3 pages, and I can do that. I really can. 2 to 3 pages is technically really easy at my level, and I am just having issues. Like, I have never experienced this serious of a dysfunction when it comes to my schoolwork, so that sucks. But I'm okay, everything will be okay. Hi, hello. Happy Friday. I just realized that I didn't bring my mic, so I'm really hoping this audio isn't as bad as I think it's going to be. So yeah, hi, it's Friday. I have had a very long day. I usually do wake up at 7, but as soon as I woke up, I had to get in my car and sit in traffic because I had an appointment with my psychiatrist, and she's 40 minutes away from me, but honestly, it's worth the drive because I haven't felt comfortable with anybody else as I do with her. And we fixed my medication situation. I'm finally able to get my ADHD medication with this other pharmacy that is also a far ways drive from me. But out of like the 4 or 5 pharmacies that I went to see if they have my ADHD medication, that is the only one that has it in stock. So again, it's worth it. And the best part the best part about this pharmacy is that it's actually right next to the only H Mart I know, and it's a super H Mart. And also right next to it on the other side of that pharmacy is this really cool Mente chiquita mia. Come here, Ray Ray. It's okay, say hi. Say hi. This pharmacy is next to this really cool Japanese bookstore and knickknack situation, and I wanted to vlog in there so bad, but I got so distracted with everything that was there that I forgot. And I was in there for an entire hour, maybe a little bit more, so that's cool. And I did some damage. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna take it as a I deserve it present because I've been, as you could tell from whatever is probably gonna be in this vlog, I've just been having a really hard time, and the fact that I was finally able to fix my medication situation just really fills my heart. I am just so happy for myself that I low-key kind of want to cry. So let's do a little haul, shall we? We shall. So this first book that I want to share actually didn't come from this Japanese store, but it came in the mail last night and I just was now able to open it. And it's actually Roots by Diz Tate. And I've seen this on Allison Pages' channel and I really like the way that she talked about it. So this has been on my cart for such a really long time, and I'm finally glad that I actually bought it. And honestly, most of these have been in my cart for a really long time, so I'm glad that they're finally in my hands. So now we're gonna get into the haul from the cute Japanese store. And let me tell you, they even had, when I found the stationery section, I was already, I think like 6 books in, and I was like, no, get out of there. Basically. So the first thing I found actually was this cute little notepad based on the Scream painting. And I just like the little notes that it has in it. Really interesting if it feels. And then the next I have these cute little flower socks. I've just been really into these designy socks lately, so I grabbed some navy blue ones with flowers, and I personally really love it when I wear my usual all black outfits and then you could see these poking through from my pants. And the last knickknack that I bought is Riza Hawkeye. I have Mustang and I have been looking for her for such a long time. I also have Alphonse, so I'm still looking for Edward and some of the homunculi. I don't want all of the homunculi. And then I just noticed in the back that you could also get Olivier Mira, and I don't know if I want to get Scar. I don't know. I'm not sure about Scar, but I do know that I want some of the homunculi. Specifically Envy and King Bradley, and I'm pretty sure he is a Funko Pop. I could be wrong, but I do want Envy for sure. Envy's my they them, you know. Now for the good part. Got a good amount. I'm so excited for these. So this first book, I definitely found at the bookstore. I had never heard of it, and it's The Village of Eight Graves by Seshi Yokomizo, who's apparently the Stephen King of Japan. The Village of Eight Graves. The next book I got was The Setting Sun by Osamu Dazai, and this novel is based around the ending of World War II in Japan. These are works in translation, so that's what I really appreciated from that store, that they did have English authors, but they did have a lot of Asian authors as well. And you know, you gotta diversify your library, you know what I mean? So yeah, so this is The Setting Sun by Osami Dazi. And then the next book is Nails and Eyes by Karui Fujino, which is about a young girl's mother dies and her father brings in his mistress to take care of the household. And I think the little girl takes care of her, if you know what I mean. So this is a mystery novel, and it is also Japanese. It's a work of translation. The next book, this next book I've also have had in my cart for a very long time. So again, I'm glad that I finally decided to buy it. But it's La Vona by Yotessa Mosefe, who wrote My Year of Rest and Relaxation. And this is about a shepherd boy who's part of a power struggle within his community. And then the last book is Kafka on the Shore by Haruki Murakami, and I'm pretty sure this is a very well-known novel. A lot of people have heard of it, and I'm finally joining I'm finally joining the bandwagon for Murakami novels. I heard that he's a very hit or miss author, so let's hope he's a hit, because I just heard about a lot of his novels that I just want to read. And that is my book haul for Saturday. Or sorry, for Friday. That's my book haul for Friday. This is gonna be the vlogs of book hauls, because I just got a notification that some other books that I bought through Amazon just got home to my parents' house, not the apartment. 3 out of the 4 books that I bought are for school, so like I needed to buy them. And the 4th one is a funsies book that I bought before I knew I was gonna go to a cool bookshop. So we'll have to wait till Saturday to see that book haul. So right now I'm just gonna enjoy some QT with my QT and just enjoy the rest of my Friday while my sisters make it home. Happy Saturday, everyone. So it is the next day, and I have luckily been actually working away on things that I needed to do for today. I'm about to finish up my statement of purpose for my PhD application, and that's a big step, especially since that's due this upcoming week. I have the last books that I've ordered for this vlog. So here is another book haul moment. To be fair, and to make me feel better, some of these books I actually did order a long time ago, but for some reason they are just now being sent. I spent different money at different times. This wasn't just all purchased all at once. That makes me feel better. This first book is Agatha Christie's And Then There Were None. I first read this book in 6th grade and I loved it so much. So I'm really excited to reread it with an adult perspective. These next 2 books are actually school readings, and it is the narrative of the life of Frederick Douglass written by himself. This next book is Iola Leroy by Frances Ellen and Watkins Harper. It is about the aftermath of the Civil War. These next two books are for funsies, and this one is Boy Parts by Eliza Clark, and this was also on my list for a really long time too, so it was about time that I finally bought it. And then this next book is kind of an impulse buy. I'm not a big fan of romance books, so I've never really read anything by Ali Hazelwood, but when I saw that she essentially came out with werewolf smut, vampire and werewolf smut, I kind of jumped into that. And then this last box has the last of my school readings as well. The next school reading that I have is Blake or the Heights of America by Martin Delaney. I'm intimidated because it's a big boy. Oh, well, it's only 300 pages. I just don't like the size of it. The next book that I have to read is the book that I have to do a presentation on, so I'm a little upset that it's thick, but it's My Bondage, My Freedom by Frederick Douglass. Don't know what the difference is between the narrative that he wrote and this big boy, but I guess we'll see. I'm actually excited to read these novels because I've actually never read any of his work except for what I've been reading right now for this class, so I'm glad that I could finally tip my toes into it. And it's not that I didn't want to, it's just, you know, I guess I just never had the opportunity, never wanted to pick it up myself. The last school reading is Life and Times of Frederick Douglass. So that I know of, these three books are different versions of the same thing rewritten after several years. So we're supposed to pay attention to those differences. And my last for funsies book is Acts of Desperation by Megan Nolan. I remember it being described as not necessarily a romance, but there is definitely love involved. That is the last of this book haul, of my week of book hauls, basically. I don't plan on buying any more books, but I'm not gonna lie. The big sad gets dopamine from me purchasing books that I've been wanting to read, so who knows? I'm still gonna stick to my tiny book section of my TBR because of how thick my school readings are. So yeah.